Yeah.
Is there like a mark or anything?
Yeah, just in the line.
On this line?
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah, one more. For you, one more in the middle.
And we're very happy to have you here. So I'll do the first question, and then I'll let all of my colleagues do theirs, because there's a lot of questions here. You want the fire closer?
I just want to see you.
Yeah, I want to see you too. So
I do that.
that's
There you
cool.
go. There
That's
we go.
first. Yeah,
Okay,
let's
look
see
at that.
you this way. Perfect.
Look at that.
Isn't he a gentleman? No es un caballero, caray.
There you go. What I'm a caballero what? Hold on, I need the translation.
Gentleman.
Oh, gentlemen, I like
Yes.
that. All right.
That you are. And we are really happy to have you here and to see you become Hellboy. We had a little talk a few minutes back, and I find it amazing the way that you can just transform yourself into so many different things. I've seen you on the stage, I've seen you on TV, and suddenly you become this epic and lovable but scary character. So you're a lot of things at the same time.
Yeah.
As an actor, how do you do that? What's your process?
Thank you. It's very gratifying that you think that. I mean, that's my whole goal, is to get lost in the character. I think it's the reason why I wanted to become an actor in general, is because I get kind of sick of myself for long periods of time, and I like to become someone else. And the greatest compliment I could ever receive as an actor is that I didn't even know it was you. Like, I just got invested in the character and in the character story. So, that's what I've sort of trained to do all my life. I've done, I've been lucky in my career. It's like, I don't think you guys had heard of me till Stranger Things when I was like 40, but like I've been around a while. I've been here for a long time, grinding it out. And I mean, one of the great things about that is you get to develop your craft and your technique and what you do not under a huge spotlight. You know what I mean? You can do it in little off-Broadway plays in New York where nobody goes and sees it, and you get to develop and learn this stuff, and the stakes aren't as high. So coming to this, you feel a little more prepared for this kind of attention.
Well, yes, and you also get to do Shakespeare without the Pacino, so that's not bad either.
I guess that's a big spotlight too. Yeah.
Well, they're great spotlights, and I'm going to give it now, that spotlight, to my colleagues and my friends, and I'm going to begin with Fidel Orantes, my friend from Reforma newspapers. Adelante, Fidel, todo tuyo.
Hi, sir.
Hi.
Again, I want to ask you first, how was working with Mr. Marshall, because he was coming back to movies in a long time, and also if you can tell us about your workout to become Hellboy.
So Neil was really a great choice for this movie for a couple reasons. Like, first of all, he's a great horror thriller director. Like, that movie, The Descent, when I saw it, I thought that was just almost like a perfect movie. And it's also a bit of a scrappy indie movie, and I think that we wanted this to have a little bit of that feel as well. we wanted it to feel a little bit more scrappy and indie in a certain way. And Neil does the scares and all that stuff very well. And also the fact that he was sort of coming back to movies, and I myself, you know, haven't been the lead in a movie. We were both kind of hungry, and I think that bonded us as well. Was like, we were like, let's work really hard and let's make something really fun for people. And you know, neither one of us really are in a position to phone it in, so it was really great. In terms of my workout routine, as you can tell, I have an amazing body. It's really extraordinary. I really want to preserve the myth that that is my body. I really want you all to believe that that is my body. But unfortunately, I'm going to do something I rarely do, which is tell the truth. That is not my body. That is a suit, but I did do a lot of training for this movie. I had to get very strong and very big, and underneath that suit, I'm just even more ripped, which is the tragedy. But no, I did a lot of training for it to get very strong. And that stuff, you know, I work with this guy in New York called Don Saladino, and I did a lot of what's classically known, I guess, as like powerlifting, which is just like very, very heavy weight with kind of low repetitions, like, and then, you know, we do basically the 3 big exercises, which are bench press, deadlift, and squats with the straight bar, which is like classic bodybuilding type stuff. And then we do other stuff for endurance and big things like that. Like, there's a thing in the gym called like a sled nowadays, which they use, and you just put a bunch of weight on a sled and you just push it down the gym, and then you pull it down the gym, and it is the most awful thing you will ever do in a gym. And he also does a lot of functional workout stuff like carries and things like that, where you're just carrying stuff. I mean, the funny thing about physical workout regimes nowadays is like it started out being this like really technical thing, and like, you know, like we get all these specifics and all these, and now it's just become like carry a bunch of heavy crap like across the gym and then carry it back. Or like, it's just like push a boulder up a hill. It's like stuff that we've been doing since we were like, you know, 10,000 years ago, or 70,000 years ago when we became Homo sapiens. Even before that, but we, you know, so that's basically what the best training to me is now in a gym. If you want to do, just carry heavy stuff, be active all the time, quit sitting on your couch and eating donuts. I don't like any of that, but I did do a lot of that for this movie. So there you go.
Thank you so much. And now we have Arturo Tovar from Movies.
Hi, David, here in front.
Hello.
Okay. Yesterday I got the chance to watch the footage of the movie. Congratulations, it looked great.
Oh, thank you.
What was your first reaction when you saw yourself in maybe one of those shots when you say, okay, now I'm Hellboy? And what can you tell us about the makeup process?
Yeah.
Teléfono, por
It's funny,
favor.
like looking in the mirror, when we did the first makeup test, like looking in the mirror was so
Teléfono.
wonderful. I've never really had an experience like it before. It was like magical. I mean, and to me, it really was the magic of the movies. Like, here I was transformed by this brilliant makeup artist into a monster, like Frankenstein. So right in front of me, you could touch it, and you could get up close to the camera and stuff, and it was so expressive. It felt like my skin. I was blown away by what Joel did, and I still am when I see the film. The unfortunate side of someone who's so good at what they do in that department is that you have to be in their makeup chair for a long time in the morning. So when we started, it was like 3 hours in the morning. We would, basically what happens, I'll go through the whole thing. It's like, he prints out this mask, the latex mask, and it's a full latex. Actually, the funny thing is, the one for the Beast of the Apocalypse, which I am there, is a different mask, and it highlights different things. When he becomes the Beast of the Apocalypse, his face changes a little bit. It gets a little bit more like Abe Vigoda. He gets a more pronounced like lip and a more pronounced chin, actually, even. The brow is more pronounced as well, and the cheekbones are more angular. But in general, I don't think we have a picture of the other thing, but in general, what they do is he prints out a mask. Oh, I'll go through the whole thing. So I show up like 3 in the morning. We're shooting at like 6:30, let's say. So I show up at 3 in the morning, and I go into this thing. I get coffee, and then I go sit in his chair. And the first thing they do is they put on like helmet-type apparatus that attaches to my skull that has 2 large magnets here for where the horns will eventually be. And then they print out a mask, and I like lie back. Oh, I think the first thing they put on are the ears. The ears are great. They have these like points to them, like a gargoyle. You rarely see them in the film, but it's just those little details. But they put on the ears, they put on the skull cap, and then I lie back and they apply the mask. And the mask is the longest period of time. You're lying there, and I've just put my headphones in, and I kind of doze off a little bit. And both Joel and Heather, these great makeup artists, like little ants, just like apply glue to my face and glue the thing, for hours. And then when I get back up, I see it's all applied. We start to apply the neck, and then the body, and then the hair, and then the teeth apparatus, and then eventually the eyes, and the last thing to go on really are these horns, which are these like magnetic horns that stick, and they apply this thing around that. But it took about 3 hours in the beginning, and then we got it down to about 2.5. And then at the end of the night, the great thing about it is since they're printing a new mask every day, they could just sort of rip it off. And then Joel would give me a very strange vitamin E rub down for my skin, which was the weirdest part of the process. I did not like it when he did that. But yeah, that was it. I mean, it was a very involved process, and he did such a great job with it that it was actually very easy. It's a very terrifying thing though to have to do that every day. And as you get halfway through the process, you're about 35 applications in, which is like a month and a half of daily, every day doing this thing, and you do have these days of you're like, you walk in and you're like, I can't do it anymore. I can't do it today. I can't do it. And they're like, you can do it. You can do it. You just breathe, you sit down, and then it gets good again. But Joel was really amazing and really almost, he's almost like 50% of Hellboy. So he's an amazing guy.
Well, now I have Adolfo Lopez from El Sol de Mexico.
Here. Hello, David. Hey. How was prepared this new Hellboy, having as a precedent the previous work of Guillermo del Toro?
How was it to do, knowing that the films were made by Guillermo?
Yes, for you and your experience with this new Hellboy.
Yeah.
Having the idea maybe about the
Yeah. I mean, basically they sent me the script, they sort of approached me and they were just like, do you want to play Hellboy? And they sent me the script and I initially was like, no, I don't think I do, because they made these great movies, and I'm not exactly sure if it needs to be made, in a different way. And then I read the script, and I talked to Neil, and I talked to the producers, and I talked to Mike Mignola, and they really convinced me on this new way of telling the story. So in that way, what was liberating was the fact that we weren't trying to imitate anything that had been done before. And in a sense, we weren't taking away from any of the power of what those films were. We just were saying that it had been 10 years, since Hellboy had been brought to the screen. We loved this character and felt like it should have a cinematic life. And if it did, since the other movie, the other people were not going to make the movie, that we would do something entirely different with it. And that was really the thrust the whole time, was to, really allow audiences to experience this character and experience this world, and make it a complete departure from what had come before. you know, it's the same character, but it's like Batman. Like Tim Burton does it in a certain style of a certain time, and then Chris Nolan does it of a style and of a time as well. And so I think that we were working on models like that in terms of like, you know, just sort of reinventing, you know, and allowing this story to live, but in a very, very different way. So that allayed my fears. Like, I was very afraid to approach it initially, and then as we talked about what it would be, I got excited, and I just got excited for this movie, because I think it's like fun as hell, and like, I want, you know, I love monster movies, and like, I want monster movies, so I got to make a monster movie, and it was like, it just became like a really exciting project.
And that's a perfect description, no? Fun as hell.
I know, I say that often, fun as hell. I know, I gotta stop doing that.
No.
It's a hell of a good time.
We're now going with Super Estéreo Gerardo López, house number 4, por ahí está. Adelante.
Buenas tardes, primero que nada, bienvenido a México y pues es un gusto. Yo quisiera preguntarle qué fue lo que más le gustó y qué fue lo más difícil de hacer este papel.
So what did I enjoy the most and what was the most difficult about playing this character? I guess I enjoyed the most, like what I always enjoy about characters the most, which is the deep psychological issues that he struggles with, which, you know, I can identify with a lot. Like, he basically struggles with identity. Like, he struggles with the fact that he is predisposed and destined to be a certain thing, which is the beast of the apocalypse. And he doesn't want to be that. And so he feels like maybe his conscious choices can define him as a different man, or beast man. I'm going to call him a man for the sake of brevity. But, so I think that to me is something that's very interesting, because I have certain proclivities or certain beasts within me, certain thoughts, certain feelings, certain emotions that are uncontrolled and contained and wild. But I feel like it's really my behavior and it is my conscious choices that define me as a human being, not this weird stuff inside me that I think everybody has. And so I love that idea. The other thing is I do feel like there's a bit of a devil's bargain, but there is a devil's bargain in terms of giving up a piece of yourself that is intrinsic to you to become something else. It's not all positive. Like, you do have to give up, he does have to give up something about himself. Like, he'll probably never have a romantic relationship, you know, in his life. He lives as a self, you know, a self-annihilated being in a certain way. He gives up that piece of himself to preserve humanity, because the only person he could really be attracted to would be another monster, I imagine. He's just genetically predisposed that way. So it's an interesting concept of like, are these things that we want to cut off about ourselves? Are they our real selves, or are they the things that, you know, or are they good things to cut off about ourselves? And in that way also, you know, his place in the world of like how he fights against people that are his brothers and sisters genetically, for a group of people, human beings, that are not that fond of him and show up with pitchforks and torches whenever he shows up. And that conundrum of killing your own kind was very interesting to me as well. But that to me is the most fun part of acting, is like to get to really analyze these metaphors, this psychology, this deep stuff, this myth, this archetype, these great stories that we can all talk about, and we can mull over how they help our lives, or, you know, so that's the really fun part. And the not fun part is lifting all the heavy weight and then going and rolling around on the ground and breaking your toe and like your knees giving out because you're so tired. I'm not that physical of a guy, to be honest. Like, I'm just not that I've never been into sports. Like, I'm just kind of a nerdy guy who likes to sit at home and like read a book and play a video game and stuff like that. But so So the physical stuff is very, very hard, and that was like the hardest part. Yeah, that's it.
Great. So now we have Jaguar Noguera, Eduardo. Adelante, por favor.
Hello, David. I hope you enjoy your stay in Mexico. And what did you feel working with the rest of actors and the production team?
With the rest of the actors in the production team.
Yes.
Thank you. I love Mexico. I don't get to stay here long enough, actually. I flew in yesterday morning. I have to fly out tonight. But I love Mexico. When I was in my 20s, I came down here to Mexico City, and then I got a car from a dude at the airport who just gave me his keys. I gave him some money, gave me his keys. He was like, meet me back here in 3 weeks. I was like, all right. It was awesome. I was like, Mexico's awesome. And Mexican people are awesome. This was when I was 20 years ago. I don't know if it's still like that. But I grabbed these keys and I just drove out to the coast. We Zihuatanejo and then all the way down to Puerto Escondido and Zibalito, all these beaches, and then over the mountains and into Oaxaca and we just drove all these little towns and all these dogs, these packs of rabid dogs roaming the streets in the countrysides of Mexico. My Lord. And the pigs in the middle of the street. You're driving down the street and there's the biggest pig you've ever seen and you're like, please get out of my way, I have to drive down this street. But they don't. I love this country. I love the people. I think, so I love it here. I wish I could stay here longer, but unfortunately I have to run around and go somewhere else. But so far, being in the hotel for a day and a half has been great. What was the question? Oh yeah, okay. I just went on my Mexico rant, my memories, my 20s in Mexico. I forgot the question. The question is, what was it like working with the other actors in the production team? So the other actors were phenomenal. So Ian McShane plays Broom. This guy, is one of the greatest actors of all time. I mean, when he signed on to do it, I couldn't believe it. I know he was famous before this, but I was introduced to him in Deadwood, and that performance of Al Swearingen is an unbelievable. It is one of the greatest performances of all time. I mean, I'm awestruck by that guy. And so when he signed on to do it, I was just terrified, intimidated, and he was so nice. To the point where I had to get away from him because we'd be backstage before we shot stuff, and I have to be pretty angry with Broom. There's a lot of angst with me and Broom, and he would just tell these stories. British guy, oh David, and I'd just be like, I have to get away from you and just go sulk in my room. He's a lovely guy, such a good actor. I loved working with him. Sasha Lane was terrific. She's such a sweet, delicate soul, and I think it shows through in all of her work. Not delicate, she's also strong, but this creative soul, she's a true artist in the weirdest sense of the word. I remember we were going, I don't think she'd mind but we were all going a little crazy being in Bulgaria. We didn't speak the language. None of us we were just in the hotel going crazy, and she started painting bags. She found a bunch of canvas bags and just painted them, and in her room was just hanging all these bags and just her paint. So, but she's just an artistic, she's just constantly creating. She's lovely, she has such a beautiful presence. Daniel Day Kim is the most handsome man I've ever seen, and I love him. Such a physical, strong actor, strong presence in the movie. So lovely to work with. Mila Jovovich is incredible. She's also really impressed me in the fact that she can make a movie. She came on set. She wasn't just an actress. She brought all this technical knowledge, all this knowledge of the genre, all this knowledge of how to make a movie, and it was so exciting to have her sort of run the show almost when she came in. It was beautiful. The production team was all great. The sets, the costumes, everything about it is really spectacular, really fun. The shoot itself was extremely difficult for me. but not due to any of those people. It was just my own personal journey throughout the thing was super hard, but all the departments I thought were terrific, and I was so grateful to have all of them in the film.
Well, now we have a question from Reacción FM, Jacqueline Costa.
Hi. One more time, welcome to Mexico.
Thank you.
I'd like to know, do you feel a burden in terms of carrying this lore and legend of this character? And how do you think your life is going to change after playing the role?
Do I feel burdened, Karen?
Yes.
That's a good question. I don't really know. I'm just kind of excited. Like, I'm just excited to bring people the movie. I don't, for me, like, there's a lot of things to feel like I have a burden on, and like there's so many things in my life that I do feel the burden of, that this just feels like pure joy. Like, I love this movie. I'm so excited for people to see it, and I think that people will have a great time when they watch it. And like, all the other stuff is I don't really get involved in. It's more I got so many other problems to deal with in my life. I can't even tell you. But in terms of this, it's just purely like joy. What was the other part of your question? Was there another part? Yeah.
How do you think your life is going to change?
Oh, how do I think my life is going to change? I don't think I honestly, like, I have no idea about these things. I'm like, all I know was years ago, because I've been in this business for 100,000 years, and years ago I made like a movie in my my late 20s or something, and everybody on that set we were patting each other on the back, and we were going like, oh, your life's gonna change after this. And then my life didn't change at all. And I was like, all right, like, whatever. Like, I have no expectations. And the funny thing was, I had no expectations with Stranger Things, and then my life completely changed after Stranger Things. But I never think that it adds up, because I don't understand the world at all. Like, I have my own opinions and my own ideas about what I like, what I dislike, or what is this, what should happen or shouldn't happen, and the world very rarely agrees with me. So, we will see. I don't know, but we will see.
Well, now we have Andrea De Nigri from G-Pop.
Oh, hey.
Hi, baby.
Hi.
You have many projects in your career, but the first that launched you to the fame was Stranger Things, right? So I want to know, how was the casting for Jim Hopper, and how was the casting for Hellboy now? I mean...
The casting for Hopper, I remember, like, I read that script, and I was like, I love that script so much when I read it. And I was like, there's no way they're going to cast me for this. They're going to get somebody who's like a big deal, right? They're going to get like Leonardo DiCaprio or somebody like really handsome and cool. And so I read for it kind of as a joke, and then they were like, yeah, I think we want you. And then I was like, oh my God. And then I got really excited. And then there was like a week where like somebody wasn't convinced. This is the thing that they don't tell you in these auditions. Like, there's a bunch of people weighing in on this stuff. And like, there's certain ones you have to convince and other ones maybe you don't. But there was one person who wasn't convinced. And it took about a week of me. And I was like tearing my hair out. I was like, ugh. And then I think about it now, and I think about how much I wanted it, and then I think about how it became such a zeitgeist, and I think about me as an actor having not got it, having to watch Leonardo DiCaprio play Jim Hopper in Stranger Things, and me looking at the posters on the buses and being so angry and so sad. But it didn't happen that way. So I got it, and it was like, and that was like, I think that might have been one of the most exciting moments of my life, because I didn't even know that it would become a thing, but I knew that I loved it, and I really wanted to play that role, and so that was super exciting. And then the Hellboy casting process, again, like, things changed as a result of my work on Stranger Things, and result of playing that. So Hellboy, they just called and they were like, you want to play Hellboy? There was no week where they were like, one guy isn't convinced. They were all convinced. And I was like, wow, that's great. So again, it was another thing where it was like, just thrilling to be able to like tell these great stories in these big ways. And I haven't had this opportunity for the like 20 years I've been working to be, you know, sort of given this respect in a certain way. And it's just like a beautiful feeling, because as an actor, I mean, for so long, you're just like, you know, going into these casting rooms going like, please like me, do you like what I do? Is this okay? Will you do it? And then finally people are like, will you do this? And you're like, of course! So it's, yeah, it was very, you know, it's very gratifying to be approached with like really fun stuff to do and to just be approached with it as opposed to having to read an audition.
Ok, ahora vamos con tu radio online, es Bernardo Soto que se encuentra,
De este lado.
Exacto.
Retomando dos cosas que has mencionado, de repente la preparación física que tuviste y tu tiempo en México, de repente vemos en los trailers y ayer pudimos ver una escena en la que estás a punto de subirte a un ring de lucha libre. Si nos pudieras contar algo de eso y lo que hablaste con Mike Mignola, que es el creador del personaje, o sea, que es uno de los creadores de cómics más queridos, más importantes y más respetados. ¿Cuál fue esa charla? O sea, de él te presta a su hijo para que tú lo interpretes.
Yeah, yeah. So the first question is about the Mexican wrestling scene. That was so fun. That's like almost direct out of the comics, you know? And so I was so excited to do that and play that whole thing. You know, as I said, like it was hard. It's a hard thing to do to wrestle. I didn't realize that. I thought it was all, you know, whatever, but it's hard. Like, you're running around, we were slamming into each other, we were like, you know, doing all this crazy stuff and tying each other up. But it was, yeah, so it was really, really hard. In terms of Mike, you know, he gave me his son to play, to interpret, and it was a great responsibility. And he really wanted me to do it at first, but I think throughout the process, I don't know how he felt. I think we all go through buyer's remorse to a certain degree. I think he was a little bit conflicted. And then I did, you know, speak to him after he saw a final cut of the film, and he was really happy about what I did with it. And that, to me, was the biggest opinion that mattered the most to me, was because he did create the character, and I didn't know. You know, I did my own stuff with it as well. And, he was really, really happy with my performance, and I was just so gratifying that, like, you know. And in terms of the conversation that we had about the character, I mean, I talked to him a lot about the origins of Hellboy and like where it comes from in him, and I got some insight into, I think he's spoken about this publicly, about his father, and I think Hellboy has a lot of his dad in the thing. And Mike speaks very eloquently about his dad and about, you know, what he was like as a man and sort of why this character reminds, you know, what he put from his father into that. And that was very moving to me. And I really, you know, that's where I learned the most. It's almost like I learned about the character, but I also learned more about Mike's relationship to the character, which gave me a whole new depth to understanding the character, if that makes any sense. It was less important about what he said about his father, but it was the way he talked about it in terms of this particular character, which gave me tremendous insight into what he wanted highlighted about him, or what he struggled with his father, and what he loves about his father, and all this thing. And that's what I wanted to bring to the screen, was that tension.
Está empezando a correr el tiempo, así que vamos con la penúltima pregunta. Geek Club, Joshi Álvarez, por favor, adelante.
Hola. ¿Cuál fue el mayor reto que tuviste al interpretar el personaje? ¿Qué diferencia tu Hellboy de la adaptación pasada de Guillermo del Toro?
The greatest challenge sort of, as I said, was the physical nature of it. There was also this challenge of like being in this getup is like, first of all, they don't let you get in it because it takes like 4 people and a tremendous amount of money to actually apply it. So you can't rehearse in it. Like we had 1 camera test before we shot, and then the next day we were shooting in it. So to actually rehearse in this thing, I couldn't, and I need to work on a character before I do it. I can't just like jump in and, because it's like playing a rhinoceros, or like playing an elephant. Like, how does an elephant move? Like, how does it, you know what I mean? Like, how does it operate? What are its vocal cords like? What are its like muscles like? Like, what do the horns feel like? Like, oh, what does it feel like to have horns? Like, you need to work with that stuff. So, like months before we shot, when I was in New York, I went to a sporting goods store and I bought like all this sports equipment, like helmet and like shoulder pads and a wetsuit and like hair. Hair was from the wig shop, but like hair and then like, these fake horn things, and then even put some stuff on my face to weigh down my cheeks, to feel the weight of that latex, to feel like when I did express myself that it might have to be bigger than my normal expressions. Like, I did all this work, so I pranced around my apartment in a homemade Hellboy suit for months. It was completely ridiculous. So that was the most challenging thing I did. In terms of differentiating from the Guillermo del Toro and the Ron Perlman version, I don't really think in terms of that way. I didn't really think of it as differentiating. I just wanted to play the character as truly as I can. When people talk about the comparisons, I can understand, and to me, the thing that I bring to him, Ron does a certain masculine, world-weary thing that is so terrific and that is so Ron, and I admire it, but it's not me, and it's not what I want to highlight. So in that way, my Hellboy it was kind of younger. Like, he's kind of more, for lack of a better word, he's kind of more of a teenager in his psyche. He's really struggling with his own identity, and certainly as related to his father, there's a lot more of that struggle. So I wanted to highlight that, and the other thing I wanted to highlight was his attraction to the dark side, which is not only his destiny, like the destiny wasn't, because I always have a problem with destiny. It's like this thing where it's like, who cares? Like, but I wanted to ground that in terms of like his actual genetic, like modes, like his actual, even his sexuality. Like he's attracted to darkness, like in a visceral way. He can't give it up. It's like an alcoholic or something. And so in that way, I wanted to feel that from him, which I don't know. I haven't seen the Guillermo del Toro films in a long time, but I don't know that so much is the issue in those films. I feel like those films are more about something else. So in terms of my view of it, it was more about this identity struggle that Hellboy himself, and more of a youthful version of it, like not as much self-awareness, not as much intelligence, more just like heavily invested in the angst itself, for lack of a better word.
Bueno, I'm afraid it's the last question, va a ser la última pregunta y es para Magali Valdés de Stellis MX. Aquí se encuentra.
Hola.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Bueno, esta es una pregunta más de chisme. Cuando inició el rodaje, Hellboy salió una foto con Ron y con Patton Oswalt y se generan muchos rumores. Ron en esa reunión te dio consejos para el personaje y dos, ¿estás planeando trabajar con Patton?
That's funny. Yes, yeah, we did have a dinner. It was great, because like it was a little bit weird the way things played out there was like some Twitter stuff, and there was like all this weirdness, and I hate all that stuff. And I hate the fact that we're all artists, and we're all in it for these great reasons, and I don't know why we have to sometimes make the world a hell by like creating this drama, this weird, this weird drama amongst us, where I'm like, man, we got so much drama in the world. Like, we got climate change, like, we got drama that we can focus on. Like, why do we have to create these worlds of drama? And so one of the beautiful things was that Ron and I were friends over Twitter, and I reached out to him and I said, look, this is a weird thing. Like, I'm, stepping into this thing, and I just want to tell you that I love your work. I think you're an incredible actor, and you are incredible in this role. And I just want to say that, I think it's weird, and I just want to reach out and just say that I respect you, and that I hope that, this is okay. And he was immediately so gracious, which was unexpected. He's a very, Twitter, he's a very opinionated, very strong guy. And so I was like, I'll open myself up to this. And he was immediately so gracious. He was like, I really love you as an actor, and I think you'll do a great job. And, things in the film business can be weird, whatever. And then, Pat and I are buddies, and I was like, do you think we can get Ron Perlman to go to dinner with us? And so we kind of arranged this dinner, because I just wanted to, mainly too, I just wanted to meet him, like as a fan of him. And we did. We went to this dinner, and it was, it was sort of pitched as this date, like passing of the torch dinner, and it sort of was. But it was more just like three people that respect each other. I mean, I very much respect Pat, and I very much respect Ron for not only their artistry, but the people they are in the world. And so it was just great to get have dinner with them. And at one point, he did say, we talked a little bit about it, and he mainly talked about his story with Guillermo and what they were doing and all this different stuff. And then at one point he said, I was talking about the character, and I was telling him just different things about the character, and he was like, I take, as you can probably tell, I take what I do very seriously, and I go a little bonkers. I just get really serious. And he was like, listen, kid, remember to have a good time. And I was like, oh, that's great advice. Thank you. And I didn't take it. No, I did take it. I did take it a little bit. Some days. And then, am I working with Pat on something? No. But I would love to. Maybe next week. I don't know yet. I love that guy. That guy's so special. And he's such a genius. He's such a specific, unique talent. So if I could find anything to work with him on, I would love to work with him. But I don't, there's nothing today. But that's a great idea. So now I'm going to try to find him.
Well, David, we really want to thank you in behalf of every single reader, listener, everybody that is represented here. All of Mexico, Hellboy is special to us, and we're really happy that you are the new Hellboy and that you're here. And in April 11th, we're going to get to see the movie.
Yes.
We're getting it here one day before everywhere else.
I know, it's very exciting. Don't tell anybody what happened. Just for you, Mexico. Come on.
So thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, David Harbour.
Thank you so much for the warm welcome. Thank you.
La productora. Pues bueno, ya acabó. Acá hay otros.
Y nosotros queremos por la serie. Tenemos la oportunidad de contarnos la anécdota de cómo y pensó que era alguien más famoso como Leonardo. Esa vez
Así que no se pierdan esta película el próximo 19 de abril. Ya lo saben, campanita y suscríbanse. Adiós, monstruo. Besitos.